Hello everyone, I'm Mohsen from Microsoft Zero to Hero. We are here for another interesting session, and I hope you enjoy for this session. And actually, before the jump to the Saravanan to start the session, let me share some my slide to introduce Microsoft Zero to Hero, Microsoft Learn. And let's me yeah today we have a exciting session with Saravanan about the Azure IoT operation. And before that, in the backstage, we talk to Saravanan. The content is very interesting. I suggest you don't miss this session. And the next slide is about the Microsoft Learn community. As you know, Microsoft Learn community is the umbrella set up the collection of the content, learning content, and you can join the Microsoft Learn community based off your role, based off your career path, based off your knowledge or other things. You can learn more things, certify, ask your question from learn expert or other things. The link, this link is the aka.ms Microsoft Learn community. You can join and enjoy your the interesting content, learning content. And this week, this week is a Microsoft Build register. You can take a Microsoft certification exam free voucher. Many expand knowledge, your knowledge, many topic, interesting topic, AI topic, the cloud challenge. Actually, there are a lot of things in Microsoft Build. And the last slide, sorry. Yeah, that last slide is our code of contact. Be aware of the other, be friendly and passionate, be welcoming and respectful, be open to all questions and viewpoints, be understanding of difference, be kind and considerate to other in our comment, in our chat, or so on. Let me add Saravanan to a stage. Hello, Saravanan.
Hi, Mohsin. Hi, good evening. Good morning from your side. It's evening for me. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much to accept our invitation. And we are ready for your session or your presentation. And I think it's a very interesting topic, Azure IoT with the AI or other things.
Yeah, sure. Yes, Mohsin. Actually, it's been great. Thank you for giving me this great opportunity to present a topic which is related to Azure IoT operations. Yeah, I guess actually in this during this session, the audiences who are going to watch this will be who are all watching this session will be gain some knowledge on IoT, what is Azure IoT operations, and what we can do, and what are the features and how we can deploy a cluster in IoT deploy a cluster, and how we can run up an Azure IoT operation instance in our Azure environment. And also we will be going to see how the data flow is happening inside the clusters using the PCUA completion and subscriber and all. So we have some couple of good things and demo out there to be completed in this session, and I have some deck to be presented as well, which contains all the architectural details of IoT operations as well.
Yeah, great. Let's start.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. So screen is visible.
Yeah, I had.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, thank you for Microsoft Azure's beautiful community for giving me this chance, and it's been great. I've been thankful for Said Dal and other community members who have been part of this Microsoft Azure's beautiful hero. So it's been a dream for me. I've been serving the community of Azure for the last 8 years, and it's my first session with the Microsoft Azure's beautiful hero community, and it's been really great yeah, for me. And if you see here, actually, it's my about me slide that I've been yeah, I'm yeah working as a I'm having more than 10.5 years of experience in IoT. I've been a part of the organization called Tata Consulting Services as an assistant consultant in IoT BU, and I've been a part of Bishop Partner communities and Azure developer community in Chennai, and we've been leading global communities and chapter events of these two communities in Chennai. And I've been contributing for IoT and AI all over the uh, 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 communities which are present in all over the world. And I've been authored more book, and I have written a lot of articles which are related to IoT, and I also written some blogs which are related to IoT as well, actually. So this is my short description of the introduction about myself, what I have been doing these days. And you can stand me this QR code to be part of my LinkedIn connections, actually, so we can connect, and I can also share some insights about IoT and the great stuffs which are related to just going to come up in Azure, which are related to IoT, adaptive cloud, and Azure Arc as well, actually. So the- moving forward, actually, this is in agenda for our today's session, where we have been seeing about what is Azure IoT operations, how Azure architecture was framed for the Azure IoT operations, and how we can manage device and assets, and through which actually we can publish and subscribe with MQTT, how to process it, data in IoT operations, how we can connect those data to the cloud, and we are also going to see visualize and analyze telemetry, and how a secure connection can be established in the Azure IoT operations. And after covering all these topics, where we have some small demo where we'll be seeing how to deploy a cluster with the large support in Azure to spin up the Azure IoT operations in Azure, and also we'll be paying some data flow in that by use of PCA publisher, actually. So this is about the agenda for today's session, and if you have guys have any doubts or anything in between, you can actually yeah, ask me, or else at the end of this session we have some like 10 minutes of time to know about each other, and I also need to know some feedback about the session during the time. Also, you can put up your questions to me related to this topic. So if you see here, yeah, first of all, you guys know about what is an IoT, and what are the services we have in IoT in Azure in the past years, and what is about the Azure IoT, why we bought the Azure IoT operations teams, actually. So in going forward, actually, the Microsoft has been decided to run a powerful service called Azure IoT operations, that is Azure Arc enabled edge Kubernetes clusters. Okay, so how it will be helpful means, actually, this service will enable to capture the data from various different systems and integrate with the data modeling applications, such as which is related in Microsoft Fabric, to help organizations deploy their industrial metaverse. If you are once you collect the data, you can integrate with some data modeling applications, and you can visualize the data by means of Microsoft Fabric and Power BI as well. So for this purpose only, actually, to run the every operations in the edge, Microsoft has spinned up this service called Azure IoT operations. So if you see here, you can yeah, ask me, actually, how it will be really useful for the people who have been already the part of IoT ecosystem of Azure. Means, actually, it will be helpful to build from the ground by using a Kubernetes native applications. And also, if you see, we can also use the edge native MQTT uh, brokers, which covers our event-driven architectures. It will be very highly scalable, resilient, and secure. And we can also manage all edge services from the cloud by means of using this Azure Arc. And we have it supports a GitOps configuration as a code for deployment and updates. And if you see, then natively, actually, we can integrate this Azure IoT operations with given tabs and Microsoft Fabric in the cloud. So these are some of the reasons why Microsoft has been introduced this Azure IoT operations services to make the edge Azure, the edge related deployments and developments will become very easy for an IoT developer actually in the future. So this is an architecture review actually. So in this architecture review, if you see, we have it's actually a factory based architecture where we have the lot of services here actually, which will be giving out lot of insights and modules related to the Azure IoT operations actually. If you see here actually, uh, in this side of later in the factory side, we have the devices which is running out in OPC servers, and we have assets which are connected to OPC servers, and we have a communication with our Azure IoT OPC brokers, and this leaf device also communicating with our Azure IoT Agri agent. So going forward, we'll see each and everything actually. So yeah, I will be actually explaining this in each and every the talks now that actually. If you see it is the Azure IoT data process, nothing but is a configurable data processing service that can manage the complexity and diversity of industrial data, so that when you use this Azure IoT data processor, actually it will be really may make the data disparate sources more understandable, usable, and valuable. So, for the purpose is Azure IoT data processor being a predominant module in this Azure IoT operation service, which are enabled by OR. Followed by it, you have a Azure IoT MQ and Edge native MPT broker that covers and event-driven architectures. And then you have a Azure IoT OPCUA broker where we have a which handles the complexities of OPCUA communication into OPCUA servers and the other leaf devices which we mentioned here actually. So apart from this, actually, if you see, we have a Azure IoT Agri agent to manage your devices. This Azure IoT Agri agent is really good, useful. And also, if you see, we have a Azure IoT layer network management and Azure IoT architecture also. Once these data are actually, once this is done actually, and it will be sent to your visualization places or other native services of Azure like Fabric, Event Grid, Event Ops, Azure Storage, Azure Data Explorer, and it will be from this actually the data will be moved to OT operational role person by means of Azure IoT operations experience portal. So this is how the entire architecture was designed for Azure Arc enabled in Azure IoT operations. So it's been a great thing done by Microsoft, but this service is still in a preview mode. I hope so in the future it will be coming to a general availability mode as well. So we will see one by one about this services and important features of this IoT operations in upcoming slides. Okay, so manage device and assets. How we can manage the device and assets in this Azure IoT the operations means actually these Azure IoT operations can connect to various industrial device and assets. Actually, there you can see this Azure IoT OPCUA server preview component managed connection to the OPCUA servers and other leaf devices. If you see this architecture, it will be clear that this this Azure IoT operations block actually, which has been can be able to connect to more device and assets and the lot of leaves devices. Actually, they have been trying to communicate with the OPC server to your Azure IoT OPC web brokers actually. So if you see here, once it is done, the OPC broker component will be publishing the data from your OPCA servers and device discovered by Azure IoT Agri preview to Azure IoT MQ topics. So, what was the purpose of this Azure IoT Agri means actually Azure IoT Agri means actually the component which helps to discover and connect to other types of devices and assets in your IoT operations environment. Next one. So once it is done, actually, this data, which will be the, we need to publish and subscribe the data which is coming from the MQTT. So Azure IoT MQ preview is a block actually where it's a kind of a Microsoft and MQTT broker that runs on the edge. It will be allowing us to publish and subscribe to the MQTT topics. So once a OPCA broker publishes the data from OPCA servers and other lift devices to MQTT topics, the data process pipelines actually which you have actually here will be publishing the data to the it will be processing the data, and it will be publishing the data to your MQTT topics to return messages for it pre-processing. And then if you see in the northbound cloud connectors actually which we can subscribe to MQTT topics will fetch the messages for forwarding to other cloud services in the Azure. Okay, and then if you see how we can process the data means actually it has some steps called data normalization, data enrichment, and data filtering. And then actually whenever the message gets subscribed in MQTT topic, it will be to retrieve the messages. It will be processing all the messages in these three steps called data normalization, data enrichment, and data filtering, and sends the processing messages to Microsoft Fabric data lake for storage and in analysis actually. So that's how the processing of the data has been taken care in the Azure IoT operations. So actually next actually we can see how to connect this Azure IoT operations services to cloud means actually if we have been divided into two things actually, northbound cloud connectors and a data processor pipeline. Okay, the northbound cloud connectors will allow you to connect MQ means this MQTT to Azure IoT MQ directly to cloud services which are like MQTT brokers, Azure Event Hubs or Kafka or Azure data lake storage. But okay, and then the data processor pipeline destinations will allow us to connect to the cloud services like Microsoft Fabric and Azure Data Explorer. So by means of these connectors only and connectors and pipelines, your data will be connected to the cloud from your Azure IoT operations services. Okay, once it is done actually, okay, so how I can analyze and telemetry data, because data whichever we got actually, we need to process it and we need to give them a proper analyzed format to the end user. So to do that actually, whenever we receive the telemetry data from your devices or assets, we can send to the cloud the services such as Microsoft Fabric and the Power BI. So in that actually what will happen in this two these services actually you can able to visualize and analyze the telemetry from your devices and the other leaf devices and in assets as well. Okay. So if you see here how a secure how we can actually give a secure communication actually in this Azure IoT operations in the scene to if you want to secure a communication between your devices and the cloud through isolated networking environments means actually you need to be using a ISA 95 Purdue network architecture, which uses the Azure IoT layered network management component. Actually, if you see in this architecture, all these components has been described clearly in this in the architecture. So now after seeing this, the row mentioned slides, you might be clear that actually that the data which is collected from these leaf devices and other assets will be given to Azure IoT aggregation for managing and for managing those assets, and also the data which is coming from the OPCA server will be given to the Azure IoT OPCA broker, and from there the data is ingested to Azure IoT MQ, and from the Azure IoT MQ the data will be given for the Azure IoT data processor, and then from there by means of nodeboard cloud connectors actually it will be sending the data to Microsoft Fabric, Event Hubs, and everything. And also if you see here, I have mentioned about the secure communication. For this secure communication we have been using Azure IoT layered network architecture and network management as well. So this is the entire explanation of this architecture and components which are present in our Azure IoT operations which has been enabled by the Azure Arc. Okay, so and then actually, if you see, these are the two environments where Microsoft has been clearly provided that in these two environments and in these versions of the Kubernetes clusters, we can able to run Azure IoT operations without any issue. Okay, so if you see here, actually, these two are the environment, the AKS EE on Windows 11 IoT Enterprise on a single node AMD Ryzen. Um, 7 processor which have 8 cores and 3.3 gigahertz clock speed with 16 GB RAM will which should AKS Edge and the AK3S cluster we can able to run Azure IoT operations without any issue, and K3 is on Ubuntu 22.0.42 on a single node AMD Ryzen 7 8 core 30.3 gigahertz 16 GB RAM. In this environment also we can be able to run the Kubernetes clusters which will be supporting the national IoT operations as well. So this is about a theory presentation actually I have for this session. Till now in this theory session, if you guys have any doubts, you can ask me. Any doubts? And then we can move on to our demo part.
Yes, you can jump to demo. After that, we can ask after the in this session we can ask question or someone have a question, guys.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Actually, if you see in a demo, actually, we have some prerequisites to carry out this demo. Okay, in this demo, actually, we should have a. If you see, actually, we should have this required resources. Actually, K3 is running in K3D, and then Azure CLI and kubectl for managing the Kubernetes. But we no need to worry about these resources because in a GitHub code space we are already have these things actually. Okay, if you see, this is a GitHub code space we are going to use actually in the Azure. Yeah, if you see, this is a GitHub code space environment where it's been actually already enabled, and actually it has been used having these prerequisites for this demo. Okay, so it's since I've been using it, actually it has been stopped. It's getting started now. So once it gets started, and you should also have a Azure subscription with either it should be a free or a pay as you go subscription to continue with this demo. So once my code space got ready, I can actually log in using my Azure CLIs, exit login, and I can give my tenant IDs, or I can using if you are using a multi-factor authentication, you should give a device code login as well. So once that is done. If you see here, login. So it will go for your and check for this signing in. If your sign-in is succeeded, it will be mentioning a tenant ID and what is the subscription name you have here actually. Okay, so this is about the thing, and then if you see, once it is done, actually we need to start giving our registering all these services. Actually, if you see here, we need to set the account by giving a subscription ID as well. So we give a subscription ID, it has been set, and then if you see, if you want to spin up your Azure IoT operation, this services has to be registered in your subscription. So if you give like this, so registering is still going on. You can monitor once everything got registered, we can actually get the updates here. Once the registering is done, you can actually go to you can create a group, Azure group actually to get your Kubernetes cluster to get created in this group. Okay, you can change the location to East US. Location has been set, and then actually if you see, you're going to create a cluster, a Kubernetes cluster in this location, and you need to change the location each and every time since we are not in East US 2. So once it will take some time to create a kubectl like line for first time, and it will be getting installed here actually in this environment. Meanwhile, actually, if you see here, these are some of the steps we need to follow for deploying a Kubernetes cluster, which will be supporting your Azure IoT operations. Once this cluster is created, and we can able to create Azure IoT operations, and this and this the services which you have been seen in the architecture diagram will be created under your Azure IoT operations service in your Azure subscription. Okay, so it will take some time. Once it is done, actually we can start adding our clusters here. So we can actually able to get a object ID. Once a one object ID is created, and we can verify what is our host state, and then we can create a Azure IoT operations here actually in this thing, and we can also see how the data has been moved in the Azure the capability spots for this in Azure IoT operation. What is status of these things or not? So these are the remaining steps we have, and we'll go one by one actually. So once these steps are completed, actually we can able to see in your Azure IoT in your Azure cloud environment that this if you see here actually these are the extensions might be created after this successful installation of the IoT operations. Okay. Take some time. Once this installation of this Azure Arc agents got completed in the Kubernetes cluster, we can move ahead actually. So it will take some time, and once it is done, after this step, actually we are moving on to how we can take the IoT operation size, yeah, how we can what are the instances it is running, and how to set the endpoints, and how to manage your assets, and how to check the data floating. Entire thing we'll be seeing it actually once this configuration got completed. So now the configuration got completed actually, and then I'll be moving on to next step to set up my object ID. Okay. So we'll be saving it as an object ID. Some issues coming. I will prepare due to some multi-factor authentications. Now I am running this thing. Once it is done, actually, I can able to see. So these are if ports we got enabled as a part of this Azure IoT operation. So once this is got completed, actually, it will be taking some time. Okay, actually, since I've been changed the location, it's showing that we have been moved to a new location. Okay, and then actually I can do one thing. I can get my subscription ID and I can check what is the things going on. I need to paste. Mhm. Okay, YouTube notification. Okay, actually, I'm facing some issues in creating an object ID. So actually, yeah, I want to explain these are the steps we have. Okay, so once these steps are completed, actually, once you create a Azure Kubernetes one, actually, it will be ask us to verify our host. Actually, once my host has been verified, my keyword will be creating actually for this RBAC authentication for a particular cluster. And then actually, if you see for the next step, actually once my authentication and every hosting and creation of the clusters are created, I will be starting my simulated PC to send the data to OPC to from a send the data from OPC server to OPC cluster by taking the to a particular cluster which were created by getting the access from the key vault of a particular cluster, this because of the cluster actually. So in this stage, once we complete all these steps, actually, we can see what kind of operations and what kind of services or what kind of extensions we have been created as a part of the Azure IoT operations using the kubectl get pods hyphen and Azure IoT operations. So once we complete all these steps without any error. Actually, we can be able to see this page actually here. Actually, by mentioning that we have all the extensions like OPCUA broker, MQTT processor, ACRI, layer networking, assets, IoT operations, and everything actually in your Kubernetes Azure Arc. Okay, once it is done, actually, you can able to see all the things. These are the components actually which you have been already mentioned in our architecture as well. So once this is done, my IoT operations is ready, and actually my clusters are ready. My the Kubernetes cluster now has a capability to stimulate to send the data from this PLC which we are stimulating now, and then what we will do, we are now moving into Azure IoT operation service, and we are seeing. We need to click Azure the sites. In this sites, actually, you can see we have some things called unassigned instances. Actually, okay, this is the instances actually we are going to take, and in these instances actually we doesn't have any site, so we are going to assign a site for this unassigned instance. So if you click actually this unassigned instances, actually it will take you what kind of cluster name actually we have been created, and which is under which is resource group and subscription ID, and what is the provisioning state of this will be, we can be able to see it actually. So in this actually once it is done, actually we are going to create a asset endpoint. Actually, what is an asset endpoint? Means an endpoint which gives you the connectivity things like OPC broker, the broker client URL, and then the name of the broker, whichever we need to give actually. So these things and all will be created by if you create a asset endpoint. So once this is done, once my endpoint is set up, and actually I also assign the site to my asset, and then actually we can now moving to the OPCUA tags. Actually, these are the we need to give the asset details actually in this cluster, which you while creating an asset, that asset name, what is the endpoint, we have OPCUA connector, and some description. And also actually you can also give a some property names like a badge, customer, equipment. Based upon your use case, you can give everything. And if you click next, it will be taking you to create a tags actually. So tags is nothing but actually from TLC you will be getting some data like a temperature and then humidity and all. So in this actually, what will be a sampling interval and what is your queue size and everything you can mention by creating the tags in this Azure IoT operations. So once these two steps are done, actually we'll be moving into adding the events. Actually, the events is nothing but actually we need to give this data to a particular event actually, where to send the data to the native services of Azure IoT hub actually. So in this case actually, once that configuration also done, we need to review. We have what are the steps we have done and what are the details we are given. Everything will be reviewed here, and we need to give create. So once you give create, actually your asset will be created. Okay, and if you want to see the data flow in your asset, actually we can actually do the MQTT UI will be deployed in AIO MQTT frontend will be by using MQTT UI will be deployed in your Kubernetes cluster. So by means of that, if you give a command actually which is related to this by viewing the data which is by which is sending a data to an MQTT cluster will be showcased here. Like if you see here in this chart, actually we have been spinned up a thermostat asset. We have released a thermostat asset which has a sequence number of 189 timestamp, and it has a two ways. Since it's sending a MQTT data, we can set up quality of service and what is its values, and at most once is a quality of service and what is the value and which timestamp it is sending the values, and what is the tag number actually it is sending, how many topics it has, how many messages you have till now, how many messages this data of this thermostat is sent, and what kind of message I need to give to keep it alive. And then actually, if you see the state announcement like DP underscore self test of payload can also be mentioned as part of this the visualization. Okay, so this is they also mentioned the graph to analyze the values actually, and if you want to see the history also for some numbers and tags also will be possible here. So this is how actually we can able to spin up a Kubernetes cluster and connect to Azure IoT operations, and then you can install what are the necessary IoT operations modules, and then from that actually we can be able to send the data by registering an asset and enabling the tags for that asset by means of by, and also you are going to give an endpoint as an OPC connector server, and then from there actually we can be able to see that. UI like this actually that what kind of data is sending from a particular the asset as well. So this is about the creation of this Kubernetes cluster and Azure IoT operations, and how we can register asset in Azure IoT operations and send it data by means of OPC connectors to your MQTT Azure IoT MQ, and then visualizing the data in a Kubernetes cluster. So that's it. I want to present you guys. Actually, if you have any queries or anything, you can ask me now. Thank you.
Thank you, Saravanan. Thank you very much. The interesting topic. Maybe I think you have an issue. Maybe change the region for connected resource. And we have two comments. One is the request. One is the question. The first one, the participants ask you to share. Is it possible to share your PowerPoint or what? I think if is possible to share your PowerPoint or the demo steps, we will share with our guys to check research or other things. I think it's a good suggestion. If it's possible for you, please send the link, your PowerPoint to me or Said. We will share with all participants.
Sure. Actually, Mohsin, I will do that point.
Yeah, thank you. This is a question from you about the security feature.
What, Mohsin? I can't get you. What?
Did you see the question on the screen? Your screen?
Yeah, 1 minute. I will open it up.
Yeah.
Gamma's Defender doesn't. Actually, till now this. But actually, this question is actually like MS Defender from IoT. Actually, it's for only IT/OT environments. Okay, it's not been associated with IoT operations yet. Okay, so it's not coming under this topic at all. Actually, since IoT operations is under preview mode, actually we are not. It doesn't have a connectivity with MS Defender yet. But if you have an MS, for example, if you have any assets or any edge gateways, you want to monitor the leaf devices like PLCs or anything which is associated to your edge devices. In that case, you can use MS Defender actually. And regarding the security features which I've been asking for Azure IoT operations, I already mentioned here in my slide actually that it's been actually following Azure IoT layered network management, and all the modules which are associated with this IoT operations are still under preview. So once it comes to GA, you can have a lot of the security protocols or security modules will be included in this service, and they also been chance that Microsoft Defender also will be a part of it soon actually.
Yeah. Thank you very much again. I think there is no more question. We can end off the session. Thank you, Sarwan.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you, Mohsin, and thank you, Microsoft Azure Bureau to Europe community for providing this wonderful opportunity. It's been great for me to be part of this community and serve the people with my experience on IoT as well. Actually,
yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Yeah, have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.